Hey, what's up, everyone? Look at that. It's 212 Yoga with Dave Rennie. That's me. Thank you for coming along. It's really nice. I've just been fixing a bike, so my hands are a little bit dirty. I say I've been fixing a bike. I'm just checking because my face is usually dirty when I do that. I've been fixing a puncture. So I've not really been kind of fixing a bike. There you go. I've got my oil. So that's good. I'm teaching a class later on in the Shire. A little bit out of Leicestershire, and I have no van because my van is in Barnsley and it's up there for some repairs. So anyway, I've been busy. I've been teaching yoga. I've done the class this morning. I've been to see a potential new yoga space for our collective, our cooperative. And now I'm sat here with you guys with a nice cup of chai. So whatever has brought you onto your mat, then a wholehearted welcome. Apparently, if I do some kind of strange hand movements, I'm going to set StreamYard off on a little thing. They said, this one, is that doing anything? No, it's not. Mind you, it looks like my fingers are electric today, right? Can you see that little shadow? Whew. Maybe that's just me, but it looks like there's energy coming out of my fingers. All right. You might have seen our Instagram post where last week I was doing chair yoga and I was doing this kind of stuff. And then there was all these fireworks going off. A bit like that, right? So it does all these crazy things. Should we do it this side as well? There it is. Oh, wow. I could do it all day. It's kind of like the power. I have all this power. Should we do it again? Will it do it? What about that way? It might do it again. So we might do this pose later. There you go. I've got to stop doing it. Oh, it makes me laugh, though. It makes me laugh. It's really cool. I've never been able to set off fireworks in any kind of like situation I've been in. So it's nice to be able to do it on StreamYard. So a wholehearted welcome. I will calm down. I promise you. We'll have a little bit of quiet time and then we'll get into some movements. We'll do plenty of stuff seated like we did last week. So if you want to spend some of the time in a chair, then that's absolutely great. Now, I read something the other day, which I really liked, and I wanted to share it with you. And it said something like this. It said, a little, a lot, not a lot, a little. What does it mean? A little, a lot, not a lot, a little. Sounds good, right? So a little, a lot. So coming onto your yoga mat or practicing or moving in a way or connecting with people or being creative. This is creative, right? But maybe using your hands or learning a language. So a little, a lot. So you do it a lot, but you don't have to do it for long periods of time. Now, if you do something a lot, a little, then, you know, you dedicate yourself and you're like, I'm going to do this for an hour a day or 2 hours a day. And I've got this practice and it becomes really complicated. And it, you know, you're relying on willpower. And we know willpower doesn't work. It only lasts for a certain amount of time. And then you get bored of it, right? And then suddenly you're like, oh, I was doing it. What happened? I don't know. It just got a bit too much for me. And it felt too much like a chore. So if you do a little, a lot, then it can be 5 minutes of yoga or 5 minutes of sit fit or 5 minutes of meditation or 5 minutes of Pilates, right? And then what you can do is you can build that up or you can keep it at 5 minutes, but maybe do 5 minutes or 10 minutes or like this class, 40 minutes. It's a bit longer, right? But some of the classes on Virtual Village are a lot shorter than that, and do them 3 or 4 times a week and connect in different ways and use your body in different ways and use this beautiful thing, use your head in different ways, right? I think moving in different ways as we all grow older, and if we're lucky, we're all going to do that, right? Then using your body in different ways is really important, right? So a little bit of resistance, a little bit of stretching, you know, moving your body in a way that feels nourishing. And then you've got your cardio on top of that, right? So you can go out for your walk and you do your gardening, or you can go out on your bike, or you can run like I do, whatever feels good for you, right? That's your cardio. That's good for your heart. It's good for the brain. But we also need to do other things, right? But then we can become really kind of like engrossed in it and a little bit overwhelming because you're like, oh, it's so much I need to do. But do a little, a lot, all right? And remember that wellness, looking after yourself, it can be really good fun as well, right? It genuinely can be really good fun. And I think about some of the things that I used to do, how much time I wasted that weren't really good fun. And I look back on it, I'm like, wow, I much prefer to be doing this with you guys. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm going to go back there. I'm going to take my cup of tea with me. I've got my bike. Do you want to see my bike? Shall I turn my computer around? This is my view. There's my bike. Look, so I wasn't lying to you. Yes, there we go. And that's a beautiful Leicester out in front of me. So I'm going to go back here, check my camera angle. All looks good. And then come to find a comfortable seat. There's enough light there, isn't there? So my legs are crossed, but you know, you can sit exactly how you want to sit. I find this relatively comfortable, but I do it a lot, right? And when I first started doing yoga, I certainly didn't find this that comfortable. All right, make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you've got a little bit of water close by. It's not as hot as it was the last couple of days, but it's still relatively warm. And then bring your hands maybe on your knees, or you can do this. You can place your hands in your lap, just with your palms up, sometimes with one palm on top of the other. It's your choice. I'm going to bring my hands here. I'm going to have one little final wriggle around and a little scratch and a little fidget. And then I'm just going to find a little bit of stillness. So maybe you join me in this stillness. I'm going to be quiet. Woohoo! But I'm going to kind of just check in for sounds. And I'm going to notice the sounds, probably not within my flat because it's quiet in here. I'm the only one in here at the moment. Not that there's ever lots of people here. It's just me and my wife. But I'm going to check for the sounds outside because my windows and my balcony door are open. So let's just do that for, I don't know, a minute or two. Checking in with your breath, checking in with your physical body, and I'll remain quiet from now. And from here, just maybe take another 2 or 3 more rounds of breath, something like that. And then if you had your eyes closed, then you can come with your eyes open and maybe just reflect on kind of how that was for you. You know, for me, that was beautiful. It's kind of a little reset in the middle of the day. And you hear me say sometimes, oh, you know, sometimes your energy can be quite low at 2:30 in the afternoon. I actually feel energetically quite kind of vibrant today. Maybe it's going to be fixing my bike. And I had lunch about an hour ago. And so I feel kind of like, yeah, I feel pretty good. But what I was noticing was the sounds. You've heard me talk about before. I can hear kids playing on the park, which is a nice sound. It's the odd bang and crash of the city centre doing its thing. And I can just reflect on those sounds. A little bit of breeze. I've got a plant or two on the balcony that breezing. I like flowing away in the breeze. So it's nice. It's pretty peaceful. Now, if you wanted to, you can lean back. And your sounds might have been completely different, right? You might be in a really beautiful rural setting. And the older I get, the more I think, oh, I should really go and live in the countryside. I'm like, wow, cities are so noisy. And I think when you're younger, you don't really notice it, right? You're probably part of the noise. And then I think as you get a little bit older, you're like, oh, man, it's never quiet around here. Even in the park outside here, there's people on the park all night at the moment because it's warm, right? I'm like, don't these people go to bed? they're not like sleeping. Ah, there we go. All right, bring your other shin in front, and then we'll start with some Sufi grind. So hands on the knees, inhale the chest forward, exhale as you round your spine. So just get into this nice rhythm. So you're just rotating your torso around your hips. We do it quite a lot. I like to do quite a lot of seated movements because, you know, they can be transferred or they're transferable into a chair. So that's quite nice. But you can obviously join me down on the floor. As I keep saying, you don't have to have your legs crossed. You know, maybe just find a position where you can just circle your torso around your hips. And if your spine, you know, is feeling a little tight, then you can just sit up taller, right? And sometimes I see people with their eyes closed and they're just drawing these little subtle circles that I think can have a real effect, right, on the body. What we're trying to do is we're trying to kind of work with our physicality and kind of shift our consciousness in some way. That sounds kind of really grand, doesn't it? Shift our consciousness. But we're just trying to sometimes get ourselves out of these states where we feel a little stuck. Inhale, come back to center. Take a full exhale. And then just pop yourself back the other way. So you just rotate the torso in the opposite direction. It might feel a little bit different. So maybe you need slightly different things. And ultimately, right, and I say this a lot, don't I, that we're just trying to feel a little bit better. All right. I think sometimes, you know, we get into practices or we have a lifestyle change and we expect all of these huge shifts, right, over a small period of time. And it doesn't work like that, right? It really doesn't. It's going to be 8 years. I think in a couple of weeks' time, it was bank holiday, August, what year? 2017. I stopped drinking alcohol. And I kind of think day by day, you know, there wasn't any dramatic change. But when I look back now, 8 years later, I'm like, wow, I'm so proud of myself. You know, I don't want to drink alcohol anymore. I have no desire to drink alcohol, not even one or two. But, you know, there's been a really massive shift. I used to be an IT salesman. I'm not anymore. That's a massive shift, right? So over time, if we commit to practices and keep ourselves vibrant and active if we can, then things change, right? And it's worth the effort because the effort can be beautiful. Inhale, come back to center, and then take a full exhale. And then lean back into your hands again. And then this time, just give your legs a good shake out. So bring your legs nice and long and just shake them out. If you're on a chair, obviously you can bring your legs a little longer. And then maybe just kind of roll into your ankles, maybe flex the toes. I'm going to have a drink as I do this because it's not too demanding or taxing. See how your feet feel. I've been getting quite tight in my heels recently, so these kind of movements can feel really beneficial. Give your feet a little wave out and give your legs a little wave. So you kind of feel it in the thighs, kind of loosen everything off. All right, come back to center, have your under shin back in front. Then what I'd like us to do is a twist, and then we'll do a side to side movement. So let's build it just by bringing our fingertips down into the floor. And then when you're ready, take an inhale, sweep your arms all the way up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. As you exhale, bring the hands all the way down. So that's just going to be your movement for a little bit of time. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale up. Exhale down. Keep moving in your own rhythm. Always inhaling up and always exhaling down. I'm grinning away because these simple movements, they make me happy. A few more times. Simple stuff. And what we're going to do is just going to move to the point where you feel a little bit of fatigue. And that's going to be different for all of us, right? Now I've done this, what we've done it like 7, 8 times, inhaling up, exhaling down. Now I'm beginning to feel a little bit tired. I wonder how long I could actually do this for. Not advisable, right? All right, the next time you inhale the arms up, keep the right arm lifted, this one, and then bring the left hand behind you. Nice deep inhale, and then exhale, bend over towards the left. So the left hand's just slightly behind your hip, and you're just kind of leaning back into that hand. Not too far back, not like this, keeping your spine nice and long, inhaling, exhaling as you go. So you're creating this space down the right side. What I like to do, I like to roll that right shoulder back, and then the left shoulder kind of spins forward just a little bit. Head is nice and loose. I can gaze up towards my right armpit. All right, take one more deep inhale. And then as you exhale, bring the hands back, but this time in line with the shoulders, and just stretch out and move a little side to side. Don't worry about what this kind of looks like. You might kind of flip the arms up or the palms up. You might flip the palms down. Maybe flip the palms behind so they're facing the wall if you're practicing inside. If you're outside, facing whatever. And then flip the palms forward. You might not have a wall there, by the way. It's just my wall, right? Beautiful. Inhale to bring the arms all the way back up. This time, keep the left arm lifted, right hand kind of a little bit behind. Inhale to lengthen, push the right sit bone down into the floor as you lengthen through this right arm. Exhale, left arm over towards the right. So I got my left and my right mixed up. It's your left arm lifted, unless you went on the other side first of all, and then you obviously lifting the opposite arm. If you've got the same arm lifted as before, swap it out. All right. Maybe just roll that left shoulder back, the right shoulder open just a little bit. Take one more round of breath. Deep inhale. Take a full exhale. Inhale, bring the hands all the way back out and just stretch the arms. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a little twist. So you can have the palms face forward. I think it's probably the easier position for the hands. Take an inhale here to center. Exhale, twist on the axis of your spine over to the right. Inhale to center, exhale to the left. Inhale to center, exhale to the right. Inhale, center, exhale to the left. Always inhaling here and always exhaling into your twist. So you go on your own rhythm. The kind of twists are really good for us, right? They're good for digestion. Really good for like kind of energetic release if you kind of tap into that thing or that stuff, but very good physically for us, right? Really good to kind of just move the spine like this. Inhale back to center, exhale, bring the hands down. Now you probably feel a little bit of tiredness through your shoulders. Bring the palms so they face up. Maybe close the eyes and just check in. And then when you're ready, if your eyes are closed, just come with your eyes open. Maybe swap your legs out again. So I'm just going to lean back. I'm going to bring my legs out, my feet out, and just do this little movement of knocking my knees side to side. There's a really amazing yin yoga teacher called Norman Blair, who's got the book that I read called Brightening Our Inner Skies. And he's got this new little pamphlet, I think I read from it the other week. And he says in it, I'm not sure if I read it to you or not, I'm saying it now and I'm thinking, did I tell you this before? He says that regular bowel movements are more useful than flexible hamstrings. And I really like that, to get away from this idea that you have to be flexible. So next time someone says to me, I don't do yoga, my hamstrings aren't flexible, I'll be tempted to ask them about their bowel habits, but probably not. But it's a nice thing to think about in terms of everyone thinks that yoga is about being flexible, and it really isn't. Which got me thinking about twisting, right? Because twisting is really good for digestion. All right, enough of that. Come back to center, move a little bit through your shoulders. And I know we've done a lot of shoulder work so far, but maybe just kind of shrug the shoulders just to release any tension. Nice work, everyone. You might kind of roll the shoulders a few times. I like to kind of roll the shoulders forward. I roll the shoulders back. And I can feel it, right? I can feel that tension. I kind of built a little bit of that tension up, but my shoulders definitely feel energized, which is nice. Okay, from here, a little bit of movement through your neck and your head. We do it every time because I think it's super important. So drop your chin down, maybe close your eyes as you do it, and then just rock your chin a little side to side. Nice and relaxed through your jaw. And then if you wanted to, you can circle your head out, but be really gentle. No strain here. Maybe inhaling as the head comes up. Maybe exhaling as the chin falls down. And then just come back the other way. Maybe one side feels a little tighter than the other. And then when you're ready, inhale, bring your head all the way back to center. And take a full exhale. Beautiful. And just sit. A little bit of stillness. Check in with your experience. Notice what you're noticing. Finding these moments of, relative stillness and space, peace. Might not be peace, but stillness. And again, this is that great example of a little, a lot, right? Everyone thinks that you have to sit in meditation for hours on end, and you can get a lot of insight and space, and joy, maybe, just by doing it for a few minutes. A little reset. All right, from here we're going to come to stand. We'll do a few dynamic movements standing, and then probably move through some sun salutations. So I invite you to come and stand any way that feels good for you. Do it nice and slowly, because we've been sat there. I'll have a check on my time. Pretty much half the class, right? Maybe a little bit over. So come to stand and give your legs a little shake out. Don't stand up too quickly. I was using my wife's tweezers on my bike. Don't tell her. I'll put them back there. She told me they were very expensive. All right. Have your feet about hip width apart. Beautiful. And then with the arms just swinging, just kind of move side to side. Don't worry about what this looks like. Kind of just move a little. Nice. And if you wanted to, you can kind of lift the opposite heel to where your arms are moving. Side to side movements. A little bit of a twist through the hips can feel quite nice. I like these sort of things. They're pretty simple to do, but they can feel quite energetic. And then maybe do a little bit of paint the aura, but I want you to do it really gently. So I'm going to stand side on so you can see what I do. I bend my knees, big bend in the knees, right? Don't strain your back. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale up, exhale down. Obviously, if you suffer from, low or high blood pressure, be very careful. You probably don't want to do this one. You probably know not to do it. So I don't want anyone to feel dizzy. Inhaling up, exhale down. Inhale one more time, and then exhale, bring the hands down really slowly. And then maybe just find a little bit of stillness. I'm going to face you again. Have the palms face forward and find yourself in Tadasana. So this is mountain pose. Line your feet up with the long edges of your mat, if that's how you're standing. And again, maybe just find that stillness and check in with your experience. Notice what you're noticing. Beautiful. And then if your feet are like mine, a little bit apart, bring your feet together. And then we're going to come into chair pose. Let me stand to the side. You can be in the middle of your mat. You can be at the top of your mat. It really doesn't matter. Big toes touch. And then when you inhale, you're going to sweep the arms up. So you draw the arms back by your ears. And then sort of sit down into the heels. Instead of the toes, you kind of rock the weight back and you can have a generous bend through your knees. So this is quite strong through your legs. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, come to stand. Bring the hands down. All right, a couple of breaths. We're going to go back into it, but sometimes it's just working out how physical that was. If it feels quite strong, maybe do a little bend in the knees that are a little more mild, so you don't bend as much, or maybe you've got a little bit more room to bend in. All right, when you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up, and then sit back into your heels again. Zip everything up. Legs are strong, knees are together if you can get them. One more round of breath, deep inhale, and then exhale. Come to center. Breathe it out. Nice. And now we're going to do that in a dynamic fashion. So we're going to move in and out. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Bend into the knees. Exhale to stand. Keep moving like that. Inhale. Exhale to stand. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. All right, separate your feet. Come back. Maybe the one hand on the heart, one hand on the belly this time. And just breathe deeply. It's quite strong, that one, right? It's not quite a squat, but it's kind of coming into a squatting position. Not quite, but a little easier on the knees. But always take care of yourself. Let's do that 5 more times. You might be groaning. Oh, please don't make me do it. You're good, right? This is really good for strength and balance. Perfect combination. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, come to stand. All right, inhale into chair. Exhale to stand. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. I'm not sure if I cheated you there or we did 4 or 5. Separate the feet. Pause and breathe. Maybe close your eyes. Notice how that feels. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come to the top of your mat. So I'm just going to move my mat very slightly because I'm a bit close to this wall. So make any adjustments that you need to as well. Maybe grab a drink. I'm going to check my time. Beautiful. Take your time getting here. And then this time have your feet about hip width apart again. So, you know, unless you like to bring your feet closer into Tadasana, it's your choice. Okay. When you're ready, inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, comb the arms down. I tricked you there because you thought we were coming into a forward fold. Do that through 2 more times. Inhale up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Inhale up. Exhale, bring the hands down. This time we'll do it slightly differently. I want you to bring your hips so they stay, or not bring them, your hips stay positioned pointing forwards. So inhale up. And then as you exhale, see if you can open the arms to the right. But try and keep this right hip pointing forward. So you're not twisting like this. You kind of just open your arms out. So you're going to breathe into this right shoulder. The left shoulder is pretty passive, right? All right. Inhale to bring the arms up. And then exhale, twist to the left. Try and keep that left hip. It's going to kind of want to rotate backwards a little, but try and keep your left hip facing forward. Inhale to sweep the arms up. Exhale, open to the right. Inhale up. Exhale to the left. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale up. Exhale left. 2 more. Inhale up. Exhale right. Inhale up. And exhale left. Inhale, final time. Exhale, hands to prayer, and then just bring your hands down by your heart. And then just pause. Hands at the heart. Breathe in gently here. Beautiful. All right. We'll do a little bit of sun salutation, so a tiny little bit of flow, and then we're going to do a balance, and then we'll be down on our backs. So separate the feet, give them a little shake out if that feels good. And then we're going to come into sun salutation. So feet lined up the long edges of your mat. Find yourself into Tadasana. Palms face forward. Beautiful. Inhale to sweep the arms up. And then exhale to hinge and fold. Come all the way down. You're going to inhale to a flat back. So I come up nice and high. See how I can lengthen my spine. Exhale, the hands are down. You're going to step back. One foot, then the other. And then take a nice deep inhale in plank. So you're pressing to the outer edge of the feet. Remember, you can be here. You can drop the knees. So tops of the feet are down, or you could be in high plank here. Take a deep inhale, and then as you exhale, lower to the floor. Maybe do it this way. Knees are dropped, keep the elbows tucked in, come all the way down. Challenge your strength as you come and lie on your belly. Inhale into cobra, and then exhale. You're going to push your mat firmly away. Keep the elbows tucked in, and lift your hips and come into downward facing dog. So first time we've been here, maybe a nice big generous bend in the knees. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. From here, bend your knees into your hips, get nice and springy, and then just step to the top of your mat. So maybe your right and then your left. Inhale to lengthen your spine. Exhale to hinge and fold. You root down through the feet. Inhale to come all the way up. Really express yourself as the hands come above the head. Exhale, hands to your heart. Nice. Let's do one more, but we'll do it from chair because we've done lots of work in chair so far. So big toes together, little gap in between the heels. Inhale, sweep the arms up, and then sit back into your heels. As you exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale to lengthen, come up halfway. Exhale, hands down, step back into plank again. So it's a nice gentle step back. Both feet arrive. Separate the feet and inhale. Now you're lengthening your plank. Right? Beautiful. Exhale to lower. Drop the knees, but lower nice and slowly. So challenge yourself. As your torso lands on the floor, you inhale, keeping the elbows tucked in. Lift your head, lift your heart. And then exhale, push your mat away. And then back into downward facing dog. Beautiful. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. One more like that. Deep inhale. And a full exhale. From here, bend the knees into the hips or between the hands. Step the feet together, so one foot then the other, and then inhale back into chair. Exhale to stand. And pause and breathe. And see if you can be still. Maybe the palms face forward. You can separate the feet. Check in with your experience. Notice what you're noticing. Maybe feeling that energy within your body. You've created all that. It's amazing stuff. All right, if your eyes are closed, come with your eyes open. We'll do one more thing, apart from have a drink. We're going to do a little balance, and then we'll be on our backs. Hopefully we won't be on our backs from the balance. We'll transition nice and gently. So we're going to root down through the right foot first of all, and we're just going to do a nice simple balance today. Bring the hands onto the hips. Doesn't mean it'll be easy, but we're not going to build it too much. Lift up through your left leg. And then make a basket grip around your left knee. Root down through your right foot, nice and spread out through the toes, feeling all four corners of the right foot. And this is all we're going to do. What I'd like you to try and do is really find that form. So you kind of relax your shoulders, spine is long. Nice. Take one more round of breath. And then exhale. Bring your leg down. If you fell out, it doesn't matter, right? You just come back in. So don't be hard on yourself if you can't find your balance straight away. It builds over time. Left foot, hands on the hips. Give it a little left lift through the right knee. The knee. And then maybe make that basket grip and then kind of find that length through your spine. Feel your left leg supporting you. Beautiful, right? A couple more rounds of breath. Nice work, everyone. And then exhale. Bring your legs down. Your right leg comes down. Have a little move from side to side. Free everything up. No tension in the good old body. And then from here, we're going to come down onto our back. So I invite you to do that any way that feels good. I'm just going to bring myself down. In fact, I'm going to bring myself down through a squat. So you can join me doing this, or you can just bring yourself down. If you don't like doing squats, so I turn my toes out. And then I'll bring my hands out in front, and then I'll move a little, and then I'll decide whether I want to flatten my heels down. I can use my hands here, I can bring my hands to my heart. But you don't have to do this. It's all just an option. It's a nice kind of transition. But I understand that not everyone's hips work in the same way. So it just might not be possible, but that's okay. Don't worry about that. All right, from here, if you're not there already, I'm just going to shuffle myself back and I'm going to come and lie down on my mat. As I do it, I'm going to bring my knees in towards my chest. So I'm going to squeeze my knees in. I'm going to lengthen through my tailbone. I'm just going to rock a little side to side. Beautiful. Nice. And then from here, I'm going to set myself up in Shavasana. If you want to do a twist, you can always bring the arms out. You can kind of knock the knees a little side to side, or come into a twist where you hold the knees down on one side for a couple of breaths. So you can kind of be here, and then you come back and you come to the other side. Or, as I said, I'm going to come into Shavasana straight away. So my legs are going to be long, but you can always have the soles of the feet on the floor. I'm going to take up a load of room. I'm going to try not to fall asleep because there's a nice gentle breeze coming through. In just a couple of minutes of just letting everything settle. Noticing all the amazing work we've done together this afternoon. And then from here, just begin to bring just a little bit of movement back into your body. Maybe start with your fingers and your toes and your ankles and your wrists. You can make the movements a little bigger. Whatever feels good. Maybe a nice sigh or a yawn. It usually comes quite naturally. You can bend your knees back in. Have a little roll and a little rock. Make sure everything feels free. And then I invite you just to roll over onto one side. You can support your head with your hands and just take a couple of breaths. And then eventually pushing into your top hand and unraveling, coming all the way back up. Do that nice and slowly. And then find yourself back in a cross-leg position or back on a chair or supporting your back up against a wall. Beautiful work, everyone. And then from here, bringing your hands to your heart center. And then just a nice gentle bow down and wishing yourself well, wishing everybody else well. Namaste. Thanks, you guys. It was really nice to practice with you all today. I hope you had a good class. Let me just check this. Oh, yeah. Nice to have you along, Margaret. I had to check on the other chat. So, yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you for saying hello. Next week, I shall be back for chair yoga. And this time next week, I'll be back for this class. So feel free to join. Lots of amazing content, as you know. Follow the guides on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok. Loads of great content, lots of new content as well. And you can get to see what's coming up the next day and what's coming up in the week as well. So keep an eye on the Virtual Village Hall socials and check out all the other amazing instructors and classes that is available just for you. And you shape this service. So thank you for doing that. Make sure that you, you stay connected. Should we try one more thumbs up? Do you think it'll work? There you go. It's a good way to end, eh? Have a great weekend, everyone. See you later.